With the goal of moving to the next phase of hurricane recovery, the city of Fort Myers has removed the memorial for Hurricane Ian victims downtown at Centennial Park. Today, Fox 4 spoke with the city to find out why and how they plan to honor the lives lost from the storm. But now, nearly 3.5 months later, the city is taking the memorial down. And when speaking with Fort Myers spokeswoman Lizbella Matthews, she says the city plans on using photos they took of the memorial and placing them within city buildings. As she says, the city and Fort Myers was a small sector of what happened during Ian, but she also hopes that the community knows the city stands with other parts of Southwest Florida in devastation and recovery. And if you're wondering where the photos and the other items are, the city has put them into storage. Family and friends have until February the 1st to reach out to the city to pick up an item left at the wall. And you can see the address here on your screen, or you can also go to fox4now.com. In Southwest Florida, the airport, RSW, had 44 canceled flights on this Thursday in the past 24 hours. As we also spoke with one Collier County family stranded across the country in Hawaii as they try to get back in time for the new year. Rod and Sherry Wilson planned their family vacation to Hawaii for more than a year. And while the Wilsons say you can always plan for delays and weather impact, they never thought that they would be on vacation like this. And now more than a week with no luggage. Not only did the Wilsons miss out on 3 days without their family, also including a major first, as the Wilsons are hoping to return to Naples in time for January the 1st with their luggage.
And turning to our weather now across Southwest Florida, clouds will be increasing as we continue through the overnight time frame. Morning temperatures much milder in the mid-60s. Higher dew points will lead to warmer mornings in the days ahead, and these temperatures will be running nearly 10 degrees above average as we head through tomorrow morning and into the next 7 mornings, honestly, as we ring in the new year. Elsewhere, we're looking for morning temperatures around 68 or so in Naples, kind of on the muggy side there. 67 for Marco Island. Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte will start things off around 63 degrees. Afternoon temperatures will be climbing into the mid-80s. Another warmer than average afternoon. Can't rule out a passing rain shower. Rain chances Friday afternoon and evening at just 20%. Same story for your New Year's Eve. But any showers that we do see develop will not have significant impact. For your New Year's Day, cloudy skies, high temperatures in the lower 80s. And notice we'll continue with those 80s as we ring in the new year.
A different scene at Centennial Park.
We have the opportunity to pay tribute to the needs and the losses that we've all had.
The fence draped with photos, teddy bears, and flowers that sat on the edge of the Caloosahatchee River in remembrance of the lives lost during Hurricane Ian is now gone.
This is not something that we wanted to do in haste or quickly without thinking about it.
A decision to remove the memorial and leave behind this empty lot.
We wanted to find a way that we could sort of pay tribute to the memorial without necessarily having to keep the items here, because long term that's not something that we could do.
The memorial had to be removed to transition back to normalcy, since the riverfront is an area of many festivals and events. Walking where the memorial used to be, Fort Myers City spokeswoman Lizbella Matthews tells me this was a well thought out process, with the city making moves to return back to normal. They came up with a plan to memorialize the memorial in honor of the lives lost.
We're going to be displaying some of the images of the memorial at various city buildings. We took some very beautiful pictures of the memorial and, you know, what people were doing here and those who were replenishing those flowers and those who were praying for these families.
Mike Verdream was one of the victims memorialized on the wall. His niece tells me their family is still grieving, but as time passes, they are slowly finding peace. She couldn't go on camera, but she says she is happy the city will continue to honor the victims, in hopes there will be a memorial in one place for all of the lives lost from Ian.
We were so happy and proud to have it here, and we want to make sure that it's not, you know, it doesn't go without being remembered.
Let me get this open all the way. Yeah, a lot of different property.
It
Looks like a bag of hockey equipment.
Now in this storage unit at the Sanibel Police Department.
Chainsaws, obviously alcohol, a miter saw, compressor, golf clubs.
Sanibel Police Chief William Dalton says
This was a very unique case.
starting after a Cape Coral police report says an officer was investigating a stolen car in early November.
Then the woman said we were legitimately out on Sanibel working, and we used that as an opportunity to steal things also.
Dalton says they found all this property in the storage unit the couple was living in.
And I guess either on the way home each day, they would just help themselves to other people's property.
Now it's here.
Yeah, we still haven't, determined who owns any of this stuff.
And without a victim, Dalton says they can't prosecute the couple.
Oh, that's pretty frustrating. You'd like to be able to, to arrest someone if they've stolen other people's property.
That's why Dalton hopes you'll come forward.
We're trying to reunite this property with its rightful owners, and we really haven't had much success in that so far.
Now, because we lost so much in the storm, you may not have paperwork to prove that some of this stuff is yours, but Sanibel Police says that you can come forward with maybe a photo to prove that you do own the property.
We'll hold on to it for as long as we can and see if we can identify an owner.
The owner of this trombone, a computer, a bike, someone's belongings in this storage unit.
I would think it would probably be more reuniting, and we'd be happy to do it.
Reporting on Sanibel Island, Caitlin Knapp, Fox 4.
Federal leaders say they'll make sure Southwest Airlines makes good with people impacted by cancellations over the last week. Southwest scrapped more than 15,000 flights since the 22nd. The airline is scheduled to resume a normal schedule Friday. Southwest is also promising to cover costs for people affected by the travel meltdown. Thursday, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg said anyone whose claims are denied by Southwest should file a complaint with the federal DOT. Biogen, which makes the Alzheimer's drug Aduhelm, was slammed in a House report published Thursday. The report said Biogen tried to maximize profits with a high price and aggressive marketing, despite lack of clinical data on all Alzheimer's patients. The FDA says it's reviewing the findings. Biogen says it stands behind the integrity of its actions. Brazilian soccer star Pele passed away Thursday. The 82-year-old's family said he died of colon cancer. Pele led Brazil to 3 World Cup wins and is the only player to win 3 times. He's widely considered the greatest soccer player in history.
In sports, it is said that heroes get remembered, but legends never die.
If you watch Pelé playing at the time, a lot of the things we see today, a bicycle kick, a really amazing jump for a header, Pelé has done it.
Perhaps it's because when you listen to lifelong fans like Kaylin Marquez, who was born and raised in Brazil,
He was amazing. It was just a thing of, beauty to watch him play.
legends, even after they're gone, still hold influence through lore and memory.
If you play soccer, you want to mimic your idols. I tried.
Pele was born in Brazil in 1940. By age 15, he had started playing soccer professionally. By 16, he was playing internationally. And by the time he retired 20 years later, Pele had scored 1,279 lifetime goals and won 3 World Cup titles, both world records. In 1999, he was named the Athlete of the Century, one of the 100 most important people of the 20th century, and the greatest player ever by FIFA.
These soccer players, these football players, they are renowned all over the world. And Pelé was not just an amazing soccer player, but he was also a symbol. He represented Brazil. He brought our culture internationally.
On the field, Pele glided. His feet and vision were ahead of their time, his intuition better than those that came before him. But where Pele really shined were in moments like these. In 1967, both sides of Nigeria's civil war agreed on a 48-hour ceasefire so they could watch Pele play an exhibition match in the capital of Lagos, a tribute to his power.
My parents had a beach house, and we were at our beach house, and my uncle said, "Hey, we're in town. Do you want to meet Pelé?" And I was like, "Yes, absolutely."
But it was through personal moments, like the one Kaylin got to experience firsthand when she was 15, that spoke to Pele's personality.
I came in, he was very nice. When I met him, I was very nervous. I remember my heart, I was just starstruck. And he asked me, what team I cheer for, and I told São Paulo, which is my home team. And he's like, oh, and he joked about it because he's a Santos. He played for Santos. Very big smile, and it was just an amazing experience.
This is where Pele the player was made.
It's the one that my uncle is in the red Speedos right there. He's scoring a goal on Pelé. Pelé is right here on goal. And he made sure I had to show this picture.
But this is how Pele the legend, even though he is no longer here, will never die.
Greatest player of all time. I'm sorry. You can not convince me otherwise.
I'm Dan Grossman.
Despite repeated warnings from the FDA and CDC and new bans by states, people are still selling, buying, and taking tianeptine. It's a drug sometimes marketed in the U.S. as a dietary supplement known by brand names like Zaza or Tiana Red, and sometimes referred to as gas station heroin. This report from the CDC says it gives the user opioid-like effects and withdrawal symptoms. People can buy it in convenience stores or online, except in these 7 states where it's banned. Ohio was the most recent to ban it in December. Tianeptine is not FDA approved, but it has legal uses in other countries as an antidepressant. Doctors say that can cause confusion.
We go in and out of convenience stores and gas stations all the time, so sometimes it's that end cap or point of sale. It's like, oh, hey, what's this stuff? I'll try it. You know, it's here. It must be legal. I don't have to go to a special place to get it. I don't have to go to a doctor. Don't have to go on the streets to get it. I'll see what this is about. So yeah, I think overall it kind of creates this kind of false sense of security, like, hey, this is safe, it's here.
He says we've seen this happen before, about 10 years ago with bath salts and more recently with Flocka. And that's why he believes it's more effective to focus on treating addiction.
To simply make this go away, there'll be another thing ready to come and kind of sit on a gas station counter. Maybe like this, maybe different than this, because that epidemic's always going to go on. So to me, less time and energy maybe policing, not to say that that's not important, but more kind of recognizing that if it's not this, it's something else for folks that are at risk.
In addition to those 7 states that banned tianeptine, Mississippi's Department of Health released an alert on it earlier this year.
I'm Vanessa Mashania. It seems as though all year long, whenever you sat down to read a newspaper or turn on the news, you've seen headlines about how prevalent fentanyl is and the blight that it is inflicting on communities across this country. Well, something else is happening too. The stigma surrounding people who are living with addiction is fading. And folks who work in recovery that I've talked to say that is a crucial step to ending this epidemic.
How are you two?
Good, how are you? That was perfect timing.
It's hard for me to express the amount of admiration I have for Dawn and Greg Tatro. After losing their daughter Jenna to an overdose, they set out to not only help people in recovery in their remote area, but change how it's done entirely, slowly transforming a town down on its luck and plagued by opioids into a sanctuary with everything needed for recovery.
But one just said to me again tonight, he goes, I used to come to Johnson for drugs. Now he goes, I come to Johnson for recovery.
When I met them a year ago, they already had a meeting place, residential space, counselors, daycare, and a multitude of programs that made up Jenna's promise. But they had dreams of having a cafe that employs the residents and a health center. Now both of those are up and running.
Once you get that veil of addiction off their face, and you see the real person come out, it's incredible.
The best part, they say, is how the town has embraced its residents, and by doing things like going to the cafe, are actively participating in their recovery. A true it takes a village mentality.
It's cleaning the town up, it's helping people, and it's creating this community.
There have been a combination of really profound successes and really deep struggles.
Will Eberly is the executive director of the Vermont Association of Mental Health and Recovery. I first talked to this organization after overdose deaths across the country surpassed 100,000 in 2021, the first time ever for a single year count.
Unfortunately, we're still tracking at a very high rate of overdose deaths in Vermont. Currently, we have, according to our latest statistics, 151 overdose fatalities in Vermont through August of this year, and around 80% of those have included fentanyl.
There's no national data out yet for 2022, but with the prevalence of fentanyl across the nation, experts like Will are expecting it to be another year of tragically high numbers. However, just like Dawn and Greg have seen, Will says the good news here is that he is seeing less stigma.
It's starting to become sort of the community's business to work on these things.
Well, I'm sick of people dying, sick of it.
Both the Tatros and Will believe the only way to completely flip the script on addiction and overdose deaths is for everyone to realize they have a role and to invest in the people and the places impacted. They're hoping next year even more communities see the value in the people working to to make their lives better.
Seems so simple, but to believe in someone is sometimes really what they need.
I'm Vanessa Mashanya.
Americans piled up the holiday debt this year. A third of the country added new debt, according to a LendingTree survey. On average, people put more than $1,500 on their credit cards, the highest level of per-person debt in at least 8 years. Auto sales dropped in 2022. Almost 14 million vehicles were sold, according to a report out Thursday. Now that sounds high, but it's the lowest annual sales volume since 2011, and it's down 8% compared to 2021. Sesame is now on the FDA's list of major food allergens. Other longtime allergens include milk, fish, and peanuts. Sesame appears in many different ingredients but has not always been listed by name on product labels. The FDA's move means foods with sesame will be subject to new labeling and manufacturing protocols.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Fox 4 certified meteorologist Katie Walls. Overall, quiet conditions will prevail as we head into your Friday morning. Lots of sunshine, a bit of cloud cover expected for the afternoon. Otherwise, those temperatures will continue to stay on the warm side and your dew points will continue to climb. Basically, you'll start to feel that muggy factor starting to increase here across southwest Florida. It's going to be feeling a bit more like spring as we wrap up 2022 and head into the start of 2023. Could see a passing rain shower late in the day on Friday. Just a 20% rain chance in the mix. And then heading into your Saturday, the final day of 2022, some areas of patchy fog expected. Otherwise, for your Saturday afternoon and evening, for those of you heading out to celebrate, could see a passing rain shower right as we bring in the new year. But again, those rain chances staying limited. Not expecting big impacts at just 20%. Temperatures, of course, the big story. We're going to continue to see those above normal temperatures into the start of the new year. Mid-80s forecast Monday and Tuesday.
My grandfather-in-law was diagnosed with Parkinson's about 12 years ago. Ever since, he's experienced a wide range of symptoms, and he says it can be difficult to track. Well, I just met a woman living with Parkinson's who wants to make it easier to track symptoms, so she developed an app.
Aura Aslapis loves to cook. I followed her into the kitchen while she prepared some squash. But we had to wait a little while before she could get up to cook because she was feeling off.
I feel rigid, I feel slow, my leg will start to shake. And you just feel like somebody sort of like put a hood over you.
She says she feels off when waiting for her medication to kick in. Aura is living with Parkinson's, a neurodegenerative disease that affects your movement through the depletion of dopamine.
There's a common saying that if you've met with one person with Parkinson's, you've met one person with Parkinson's, because the symptoms vary so much.
Medical experts say people living with Parkinson's can experience symptoms such as tremors, sleep difficulties, digestion issues, fatigue, brain fog, anxiety, the list goes on. Aura says managing Parkinson's symptoms and medications is a full-time job.
I found myself suddenly making spreadsheets to track my medication to try to figure out if there were patterns in what was going on.
She wanted to find new ways to improve her quality of life and the lives of others, and thought of an idea to create a free app called Strive PD. It uses a smartwatch to log your symptoms, side effects, medications, and your entire well-being. Without an Apple Watch, you can still monitor your symptoms and set medication reminders. But the big benefit of pairing it with an Apple Watch is that you can easily share all the data with your doctor.
You see your doctor maybe 2 to 4 times a year for 15 to 30 minutes. And it's more challenging for patients to go into a doctor's appointment and be able to quickly communicate what's going on.
Amanda Hare understands that frustration as a former nurse practitioner who cared for hundreds of Parkinson's patients.
When we're talking about one thing and something else is happening, I could be giving them the wrong treatment and actually worsen their symptoms. So with using Strive PD and having that data to pull up, clinicians can really get to understand what's going on.
Amanda now works with Rune Labs, a precision medicine company that uses Strive PD to capture patient data and help inform drug development companies on how to create the right therapeutics for neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's.
We're taking all of this data that's generated from people every day as part of clinical care, brain imaging, genetic testing, clinical scoring, now all of this rich data that's coming off the Apple Watch. And we're bringing that together in a way that's actually really helpful for pharma companies to understand how their drugs are working differently in different patients.
Until a treatment is found, Aura says she hopes Parkinson's patients today will strive to enjoy their life.
The worst cases are people who just kind of let the disease pour over them, and I really want everyone to keep trying.
In Santa Cruz, California, I'm Elizabeth Ruiz reporting.
New Year's Eve, a night full of traditions, from champagne to fireworks to grapes. That's right, eating 12 grapes for good luck is a New Year's tradition lesser known to Americans. But why do some follow this superstition? When midnight hits, it's a Spanish and Latino tradition to stuff your mouth with 12 grapes to fend off bad luck. Las uvas de la suerte, or 12 lucky grapes, came from some clever Spanish farmers in the early 1900s. They promoted the idea after harvesting a surplus. For each of the clock's 12 chimes, one grape goes down for good fortune, and the custom grew popular in the Americas under Spanish influence. But there's another theory of where the tradition came from. Articles from the 1880s suggest the French bourgeoisie, or wealthy class, and their champagne drinking inspired the elites in Madrid. But instead of drinking, they chose to gobble up fresh grapes to celebrate. But no ordinary grape will bring you luck. Spaniards generally prefer white Aledo grapes. They're even sold in packs of a dozen when December rolls around. One article from Food Republic even broke down the different styles people use to gulp down their grapes, from organized to sloppy and everywhere in between. So as bottles pop and confetti rains, 12 grapes could lead to 12 months of sweetness.